Ah, gather round, ye daft bastards, for another tale of idiocy involving Kevin and Lance. This time our Egypt heroes decided they'd go camping in the ancient birch woods. Nae suspecting the Ghillie Dhu would be waiting to teach them a lesson. Kevin, in his infinite stupidity, thought a wee trip to the woods would be a grand idea. Lance, grab the tent and the beer, we're going on an adventure, he declared, his eyes glinting with mischief. Lance, always up for a bit of nonsense, packed a rucksack full of tins and snacks. Aye, let's do it. The great outdoors awaits, he shouted, high-fiving Kevin. They trudged into the woods, laughing and carrying on, paying nae mind to the ancient trees and the silent watching eyes of the Ghillie Dhu. They stomped through undergrowth, snapping branches, and leaving a trail of litter behind them. After setting up their tent in a clearing, the pair cracked open their beers and started a bonfire, heedless of the danger they were causing. Kevin decided it'd be funny to chop down a young birch tree for more firewood. "This'll burn nicely," he laughed, swinging his axe. Lance, nae wanting to be outdone, grabbed a handful of wildflowers and crushed them into a paste, smearing it across his face like war paint. "Look at me, I'm a savage!" he howled, dancing round the fire. It was then that the Ghillie Dhu decided he'd had enough. Emerging silently frae the shadows, his form blending with the forest, he stood tall and imposing before the pair. "Ye disrespectful bastards!" his voice boomed, like the rustling of 1,000 leaves. Kevin and Lance froze, their eyes wide with fear as they stared at the ancient woodland spirit. The Ghillie Dhu's eyes glinted with anger and age, his garments of leaves and moss seeming to move on their own. "Ye dare to harm the forest and mock its beauty," the Ghillie Dhu roared. With a wave of his hand, the ground beneath Kevin and Lance began to tremble. Roots shot up, ensnaring their legs and pulling them to the ground. "Oh, we're sorry," Kevin yelled, struggling to free himself. "Aye, we didn't mean any harm," Lance cried, his voice trembling with fear. The Ghillie Dhu glared at them, his presence overwhelming. "Respect is earned, nae given. You'll learn the hard way." With that, the Ghillie Dhu summoned a swarm of insects that buzzed around Kevin and Lance. Biting and stinging, the pair screamed and flailed, trying to swat them away, but the insects were relentless. Next, the Ghillie Dhu caused the branches of the trees to whip at them, leaving red welts across their skin. "This is fair the trees you've harmed," he bellowed. Finally, the Ghillie Dhu made the fire flare up, threatening to engulf their tent and belongings. "And this is to teach you to be more careful." When the punishment was over, Kevin and Lance lay panting on the ground, their faces pale and their bodies covered in welts and bites. The Ghillie Dhu loomed over them, his expression stern. "Leave this place and never return without respecting your hearts." Kevin and Lance scrambled to their feet, gathering their things as quickly as they could. They ran back through the woods, leaving the ancient forest behind, the Ghillie Dhu's warning echoing in their ears. Back in the village, they collapsed in a heap, shaken with fear. "We're nae caught out for camping," Kevin muttered. "Aye," Lance agreed, still scratching at the bites. "We need to learn some respect for nature." And so the tale of Kevin and Lance's camping disaster was added to the annals of Glenfinnan's legends, a warning to all that the Ghillie Dhu watches over the forest, and he doesn't take kindly to those who disrespect it. Sláinte, ye bawbags. Ah, you dafties. If you enjoyed watching Kevin and Lance get their arses handed to them by the Ghillie Dhu, then dinna be a nump to hit that like button. And if you want to see more of their idiotic adventures, make sure you subscribe and ring that wee bell so you dinna miss a thing. Join the clan, ye bawbags. Sláinte.